Po and the Stolen Scrolls, a tale of heroism and humor. The Valley of Peace was bathed in the warm glow of the morning sun as Po, the legendary dragon warrior, strolled through the bustling streets. His belly was happily full from a breakfast of dumplings, and he was humming a cheerful tune. Ah, nothing like a quiet day with no bad guys, no training, and no— Po, a voice interrupted. Po turned to see Master Shifu hurrying toward him, a scroll in his hand and a worried look on his face. Po turned to see Master Shifu hurrying toward him, a scroll in his hand and a worried look on his face. Po turned to see Master Shifu hurrying toward him, a scroll in his hand and a worried look on his face. "Uh-oh," Po muttered. "I jinxed it." "Po, something terrible has happened," Shifu said, handing him the scroll. "The Jade Scrolls of Wisdom have been stolen." "Po, something terrible has happened," Shifu said, handing him the scroll. "The Jade Scrolls of Wisdom have been stolen." "The Jade Scrolls?" Po gasped. "Aren't those the scrolls that contain all the secret techniques of Kung Fu?" "Yes," Shifu replied. "If they fall into the wrong hands, it could spell disaster for the Valley of Peace and beyond." Po squared his shoulders, determination gleaming in his eyes. "Don't worry, Master Shifu. I'll find those scrolls and bring them back." Po's first stop was the edge of the bamboo forest, where the thief had been last seen. Tigress joined him, her keen eyes scanning the ground for clues. "Look," she said, pointing to a trail of muddy footprints. "They're heading toward the cliffs." "Cliffs? Why does it always have to be cliffs?" Po groaned, but he followed Tigress up the steep path, his breath coming in heavy puffs. When they reached the top, they found an old hut surrounded by boulders. Inside, a shadowy figure was rifling through the scrolls. "Hey, step away from the ancient Kung Fu secrets," Po shouted, bursting into the hut. The figure turned, revealing itself to be a tall, muscular leopard with piercing green eyes. "Ah, the dragon warrior!" the leopard sneered. "You're too late. With these scrolls, I'll become the greatest Kung Fu master in all of China." "We'll see about that," Po said, dropping into his fighting stance. The fight was intense. The leopard was fast, striking with sharp claws and quick jabs, but Po used his unique style, combining Kung Fu with his natural panda agility, to hold his ground. "Did I mention I'm a Kung Fu master and a dumpling master?" Po quipped, dodging a swipe. "You're about to get served." Tigress leaped into the fray, her swift, precise movements complementing Po's more unpredictable style. Together, they cornered the leopard. Realizing he was outmatched, the leopard tried to flee, but Po grabbed a nearby pot of noodles and tossed it. The slippery noodles landed perfectly on the leopard's feet, causing him to skid and fall. "Ha! Noodle power!" Po cheered as Tigress secured the stolen scrolls. Back at the Jade Palace, the scrolls were safely returned to their rightful place. Master Shifu nodded approvingly as Po and Tigress recounted their adventure. "Well done, Po. You've proven once again why you're the dragon warrior," Shifu said. "Ah, thanks, Master Shifu," Po said, rubbing the back of his neck. But, all this hero stuff has made me hungry. Any chance there's some dumplings left?" Shifu sighed but smiled. "Go ahead, Po. You've earned it." As Po dived into another plate of dumplings, the Valley of Peace returned to its serene state, knowing that their beloved dragon warrior was always ready to protect them, between meals, of course. As Po dived into another plate of dumplings, the Valley of Peace returned to its serene state, knowing that their beloved dragon warrior was always ready to protect them, between meals, of course. As Po dived into another plate of dumplings, the Valley of Peace returned to its serene state, knowing that their beloved dragon warrior was always ready to protect them, between meals, of course.